everything in the game.
I told you can't trust me. Now Puffy done killed Tupac, man.
Puff is acceptable, man. Puff said he's gonna walk up on 50 Cent and punch him in the face.
Yeah, he said, I'm just gonna punch him in the face.
Notify Curtis. I haven't finished. This communication was sent to 50 Cent just hours after Diddy won his RICO case. Those inside said it didn't come from one of his lawyers. It came directly from Diddy himself. It's likely that you've heard that Diddy was they dropped the biggest charge that could have killed him. A screenshot of 50 that showed that he had received a threatening message from a burner account went viral moments after the decision. All of us know that 50 has been on for years. Diddy's case has been ridiculed on social media with images like this one, where 50 says, "You know there ain't no seat on that bike, right?" 50 was calling Diddy fluffy, dragging him in interviews, and being shady on Instagram.
Now, I explained why I didn't hang out with him, right? Because it's fluffy stuff going on.
It's not your scene.
It's not my.
That said, this is not the same. Diddy is now threatening 50 through a fake account because of the documentary that 50 is doing, you see. Did he actually do that? Moreover, why is this? The documentary's planning is still ongoing despite the verdict. Moreover, 50 promised to disclose significantly more information than was disclosed at the trial. Why, though, is 50 sitting on? Did he just threaten him? Is that why? As you are aware if you watched the trial closely, a lot of questionable things happened. Consider the sudden replacement of the initial prosecutor by Moran Kami, the man who allegedly helped with the Epstein case's cover-up. Christina Carorm, Diddy's right-hand woman, comes next. She is listed as a co-conspirator by a number of witnesses. The federal authorities, however, ignored this, and no one knows where Christina is. Furthermore, the mainstream media contains much more disturbing material buried. Now, though, 50 Cent is promising to make all of that and more public. However, because he might be walking free, you can tell that Diddy is trying to maintain it that way. From the warning he delivered at 50, it is clear that he will stop at nothing to protect himself. It's also hard to say what Diddy will do after he's gone. The 50's commercial deals and alliances may be attacked, or he could try something much worse. As we already know from Capricorn Clark, one of the witnesses, that Diddy planned to take out 50.
Started off this morning with Capricorn Clark. She's a former Diddy assistant, former marketing manager for Sean John. Oh, she talked about 50 Cent. So I don't know what year this was, but she said that Diddy was doing a press event with 50 Cent at MTV, and they actually shared the same manager at this point, and his name was Chris Lighty. And she said that Chris Lighty and herself and Diddy got into an elevator, and Diddy was having a problem with 50 Cent, and he said something like, you know, I don't like the back and forth, I like guns.
Let us examine that threatening message, because this was not just a conversation about staying in your lane. Tell Curtis I'm not done yet, says the burner account, and it hasn't been heard from for months. That one sentence brought it back to life hours after the verdict was announced. The darkness enters at this point. He has previously been threatened, according to those close to 50. 50 Cent himself did, in fact, respond publicly when he found out that Diddy planned to take him out. In a May hearing, Diddy's former secretary Capricorn Clark claimed that she once went to MTV with Diddy for a press event and heard him tell a security guard that he preferred guns over people or stupidity. Capricorn claims that Diddy was also bringing up his ongoing feud with 50 Cent, who was there that day. In Capricorn's opinion, Mr. I Have a Gun, Combs told Chris Lighty, the cause of his problems was 50 Cent. In what way did 50 react to this? He posted an AI image of himself looking scared, captioning it, "Oh my goodness. Itty bitty Diddy wants me dead, 50 being 50. I have to be hidden. Well, I suppose I'll hide out at tonight's playoff game." Yet this is that item. At the time of the incident in May, we were all still convinced that Diddy would be given jail time. The jury found Diddy not guilty of 3 of the 5 charges, but he managed to escape the most serious charge, RICO conspiracy, in the current case. Diddy was accused of transporting Cassie and another woman named Jane for prostitution, according to NBC News. In reality, What does this entail in terms of possible jail time? Do you think Diddy will get away with it? Would he feel comfortable threatening 50 Cent because of this? Diddy was certain, as was his entourage, that he would go home the day the verdict was delivered. However, Diddy was not granted bail. According to News Nation, Judge Aaron Subramanian has declared that Diddy is too dangerous to be allowed to go. Diddy's punishment for both of them, his detention, will continue until the guilty judgment is handed out on October 3rd. People magazine states that the maximum penalty for the two offenses Diddy was found guilty of is 20 years in prison, with 10 years for each. The likelihood is that Diddy's lawyers will challenge both his conviction and his punishment now that he has been convicted. How long he really serves, if at all, will be up to us to wait and discover. Let's go back to 50 Cent now. How come even worse, Diddy has not yet received a sentence. However, he is already promising revenge. For instance, he knows he is free. Wait a minute though, why is number 50 on Diddy's list of targets for retaliation? Yes, 50 has been teasing and humiliating Diddy ever since Cassie's case was dropped, which was around 2 years ago. You know, prior to everything going too far, 50 was doing that. Since the early 2000s, 50 and Diddy have been at odds. 50 was the first to publicly question Diddy's sexual orientation as well. It's a long-standing tradition. Online harassment of Diddy wasn't limited to 50. The source of the whole argument was disclosed by him. This is how 50 Cent explained why he started making fun of Diddy on The Breakfast Club 8 years ago.
When you continuously call Puff gay, does that affect your relationships in Hollywood?
I don't call him gay. I said,
let me read it, Fifth.
Oh my God.
Sorry I can no longer help you guys. Soon you will all be gay and happy. You are all now left under leadership of Puffy Daddy. Report to the nearest rainbow. Dinner Thieves in theaters January.
That's why I get uncomfortable. Like he said something to me one time, a long time ago. At Chris Lighty's wedding, he told me to take me shopping. I looked at him like, what'd you just say? Let me move, man, before I do something. You gonna make me mess up the wedding.
Oh, that's a nice gesture.
Let me get out of No, dude, you take me. That's what a guy says to a girl.
But you've been getting out for over a decade. I remember when you said the top feels so much better than the bottom.
Yeah, I've been saying this. Everybody see, don't make like it's just me, man. Fluffy do some like, a little fluffy stuff.
Now you guys are all in some hip hop beef, okay?
The reason Diddy wanted to do anything to 50 was because of these jokes. He had the opportunity to do it years ago, but the stakes are higher this time. The whole thing also relates to 50 Cent's next documentary. Did he do it? For what purpose? Given the recent disclosure that 50 is changing its direction with his doctor, and he now wants to know more about the people that helped create Diddy. My documentary series will be a complex narrative spanning decades, not just the headlines or clips seen so far, 50 stated in Variety. These days, Diddy's extreme behavior, especially his freak-off parties with other celebs, was initially intended to be exposed. However, since Diddy has lost, because of the RICO charge, the project is getting darker and more dangerous. Reportedly from the 50 documentary, footage of what looks to be an eyes-wide-shut party at Diddy's estate just surfaced. Masks, antlers of deer, ritual vibes, all nine.
Will be exposed. The preparation of the sex. Little things that I personally like. A lot of ladies, they just, so you have, if you don't have what they need, they're gonna leave. Right. Gotta keep them there. Right. You need locks on the doors. P. Diddy be wanting the party. And you gotta tell him no. You got to tell him no. All of these big deviants is all catching hell in 2024. It's up for all of them. It don't matter if you Diddy or whoever you is.
If the tape is genuine, the 1950s documentary will bring to light a far darker side of this story that most people are not aware of. But the picture becomes even more bleak. According to production-related sources, 50 decided to look closely at the parts of the story that were not discussed during the trial. And the problem at hand is what he wants to address. Stated differently, Diddy was allegedly a government asset, and the trial was staged as a distraction. When Kanye called Diddy a Fed, do you remember it? Appears to have found something that might lend credence to this theory.
Daddy, whoever, none of these, all you fake hard niggas. Wait, no, hold on. Okay. All you fake hard You know what I'm saying? I don't give because you can't shoot nobody anyway. And the reason why you got to talk is because you did a deal, you fed. You know what I'm saying? That's why you got to come at me, because part of the deal for you to be able to do all that and get out of jail is that you promise that you're going to go pull my coat.
On the other hand, how will he prove that Diddy might have been a government asset? Initially, he desires a portion of his documentary series to concentrate on Christina Coram, Diddy's mysterious friend and alleged madam, who was allegedly what Ghislaine thought Maxwell is, Jeffrey Epstein stated. When Diddy was arrested last year, the mainstream media touted Christina Coram, Diddy's longtime right-hand gal, as the key to the case.
Speculation, a woman at the center of Sean's orbit and business empire could potentially hold the key to the prosecution. She is Christina Coram, seen here with Diddy in Florida in November after he settled his case with ex-girlfriend Cassie Ventura. Diddy posted this photo of her to Facebook saying, Christina, aka KK, keeps everything in my life and my business running. She's my right hand. In a separate lawsuit against Combs, music producer Rodney Jones used this same photo, calling Coram the Ghislaine Maxwell to Sean Combs' Jeffrey Epstein. She was referenced 64 times in that.
And at the trial, however, Christina's name was rarely brought up. In her testimony, Cassie did name Christina, claiming that she was being observed by Christina on Diddy's behalf. Cassie testified that she talked to Christina almost every day regarding Diddy's feelings, scheduling, and how to handle him that day. We talked about a number of topics with KK. Cassie said she was familiar with my personal life. A second victim, Jane, also showed a text message she received from Christina encouraging her to sneak illegal narcotics on board a commercial plane, with the words, "It's okay. It is a habit of mine." That being said, why wasn't Christina called as a witness? Christina was initially referred to by Diddy's prosecutors as one of Diddy's fellow conspirators. Then they didn't mention her at all, which is strange because calling her to testify would have proven the racketeering element if she was Diddy's co-conspirator. There is no sense in it. This is the exact reason 50 Cent wants to make Christina more well-known. There are even rumors among fans that Christina is the reason the prosecution failed the situation. Even some people think the trial was a cover-up to shield more important people. The Diddy story isn't finished, despite what people think. One ex-user said, the cover-up was mostly the state's doing. More information will be released. This raises the question of why Christina Coram KK was not invited to testify if a specific commie was. And it's not just this. In all of this, what role does this commie person play? The user is referring to Moran Commie, the lead prosecutor in this case, who announced his resignation 2 weeks after Diddy was arrested on November 25, 2024. And all of that took place at a highly suspicious period. Damon Williams was the person in charge of Diddy right from the start. So what made him pull out just before Diddy's trial? In relation to the prosecution of Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell, the commie name is the same as Moran. Currently, there are allegations that some US government officials may have deliberately disregarded Diddy's blackmail scheme or perhaps assisted it, as Diddy's blackmail database allegedly includes footage and information about well-known public figures, media moguls, and corporate leaders. According to reports, the federal officials confiscated a large number of tapes from Diddy's homes during the raids. They still haven't revealed who was on those tapes, however. Should this prove to be true, the issue is much more significant than Diddy. Diddy was only a go-between, just like Jeffrey Epstein, and this is becoming evident. It is now rumored that Diddy was an intelligence asset under protection, running a covert operation for a far more powerful organization. In fact, former US lawyer Brett Tallman has asserted that Diddy and Epstein engaged in comparable extortion tactics.
Epstein, you see others, there's rumors that float around that they worked, with the government agencies at times, and I would not doubt that. I would not doubt that there were CIA operations or FBI operations that were ongoing over the many decades in which many times these individuals were operating, criminally. And you go back to Epstein, and I was flabbergasted at the deal that, my colleague and friend Alex Acosta, the U.S. attorney at the time in Florida, offered to Epstein. I mean, the only reason that you would believe that such a deal would be granted in that kind of a case and investigation was if there was solid information. Of course, we'll never know at this point, but there had to have been some solid information about some very high-level targets in order to give such a deal to an individual that was such a criminal.
Given that this goes much beyond Diddy's, it is therefore not surprising that 50 Cent is getting threats. If he is sincere in his investigation for his documentary, even though supporters are already warning him to be cautious, 50 recently stated that he has no plans to back down. Numerous admirers posted comments on his Instagram, saying that Diddy will 50 clap back, calling Diddy a racist Teflon Don. Get the F off my page talking about, he shot back. I'm meant to be terrified of him. 50 asserts that he has lost his fear. He's exposing people that are more than just dishonest though. They remember the game, and it is theirs.